Tariffs and the big orange boogeyman. Will he ruin all of your crypto holdings? Let's get into it. Today we talk about whether or not Donald Trump is going to destroy everything that we worked for throughout the crypto winter. And I believe that it's not going to matter much. I think that the tariffs are a nothing burger. I think they're just a political fodder for people to find a reason to complain about something. There are legitimate reasons as to why Trump is implementing these tariffs. It's because I believe, personally, he is renegotiating all of the trade deals. Nothing is off limits. He's going to negotiate everything. And when I mean everything, I mean literally that. Everything. See, in Donald Trump's mind, we are paying tariffs that we shouldn't be paying. Now, whether or not you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. If you're a nationalist or if you're a globalist, I don't care. See, I am a crypto holder. I don't care about TradFi. I think traditional finance is designed to keep you down, regardless if you're a communist or a capitalist. It's designed to keep you where you are. And that's the whole reason why crypto was created. That's the whole reason why Bitcoin was created, specifically Bitcoin. Now, the issue with Bitcoin is that the chain is too slow. It cannot be its own DeFi center, decentralized finance center. It can only successfully and has successfully maintained itself as a store of value, stronger than gold itself. Now, gold is doing pretty well. As a matter of fact, in the last month, its price has skyrocketed about almost $400. In the last 6 months, it's skyrocketed almost $600. That's pretty good. And that's because I speculate people are trying to hedge their bets against inflation because of the dreaded tariffs. Here's the thing, is the crypto market looks a little iffy right now, especially for crypto holders. If you're a crypto holder, you are probably crapping bricks out of your pants, because we are approaching the line of bear market. But this line is a artificially drawn line by human beings who are interpreting and speculating price action. Now, yes, price action is just a recording of human psychology and human behavior. However, all of these things are subjective, and even if it does go below the $70,000, $71,000, $68,000 threshold, whatever threshold you believe to be the line that crosses bull market into bear market, that's not 100%. This is crypto. Anything can happen. Bitcoin could fall below 70K and then skyrocket back up to $125,000 within 2 weeks. That's very possible. Now, it's not likely. It's not something that has happened before. It goes against the grain of the data that we have so far. But it doesn't mean it's impossible. It doesn't mean that it can't happen, and it doesn't mean that it won't happen. You see, with the tariffs, everyone's anticipating a Bitcoin drop on April 2nd, maybe even April 1st, maybe April 3rd. They're anticipating a drop. And as far as I'm concerned, every time the Bitcoin community or even the crypto community has anticipated a price move either to the upside or to the downside because of some sort of particular specific event, I have noticed that oftentimes the exact opposite of what they expected to happen happens. For example, the crypto summit. Everyone's talking about the crypto summit. The crypto summit happened, and the price of everything fell. Another example, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. The Bitcoin Strategic Reserve happened, Everyone expected there to be a supply shock and Bitcoin to skyrocket off the wazoo. But that's not what happened. Bitcoin fizzled all the way back down to where it was currently. What if the tariffs go off? What if the tariffs get initiated on April 2nd and Bitcoin skyrockets to the moon? You could say, oh, that's crazy because, risk assets don't do well during bear markets, blah, 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 TradFi logic, la, 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 la. Well, crypto has routinely defied TradFi logic. What is TradFi? Traditional finance. Bitcoin specifically has routinely, and I use the word routinely, defied traditional finance logic. Everyone's saying crypto is going to go down because of the tariffs. That very might well be the case. They have good reasons for believing that. However, Bitcoin itself likes to do the opposite of what people expect it to do. Because human beings often do the opposite of what we expect them to do. They can be unpredictable. Most of the time they are very predictable, but human beings can be unpredictable from time to time. And if you expect Bitcoin to drop because of the tariffs, don't be surprised if it goes up. There is a possibility that because of the tariffs, people are going to look for a hedge against inflation, because that's the whole narrative, is tariffs are going to cause inflation. They're going to cause inflation. They're going to cause inflation. Right? That's the whole narrative. They always got to say something just because Trump is doing something now. They have to find a reason to say that it's bad, right? No matter what he says. Obviously, we all know what happened with the election. And obviously, not everyone thinks that way because he ended up getting more of the popular vote than the Democrats did. So, not to get political, but there is a possibility that the tariffs cause investors to turn to Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation, like what happened in 2020. What happened in 2020? Well, let's find out. In 2020, the price of Bitcoin skyrocketed. This was during COVID, right? 2021 was also during COVID. It was late COVID, but COVID nonetheless. There's a nice little bear trap here. And then it skyrockets again to the second leg to the upside. A lot of people are comparing this cycle to 2017. I don't think this cycle is going to be anything like 2017 at all. I think 2017 was from a non-applicable time to the modern day. There was no tariffs. And there wasn't government adoption happening. 2017 is not the same environment as 2024. I don't think it is a very comparable time. 2020 is more of a comparable time because we were facing inflation. We were facing money printing. COVID was a deflationary force, and then we printed money, which created an inflationary force. Now we're facing another inflationary force. Some people say deflationary force. Some people are anticipating inflationary force. If we are with tariffs, if we are facing inflationary force with tariffs, wouldn't it be not the craziest thing to see Bitcoin go up? Wouldn't it not be the most insane thing to think that people would turn to Bitcoin to hedge against that inflation? It goes against the traditional logic of, well, if all of our global trade gets disrupted by these tariffs, then all of our lives are going to be negatively impacted economically. However, Bitcoin likes to do the opposite of what people think it's going to do, oftentimes. So, that being said, there's no telling what's going to happen on April 2nd. Most people think that Bitcoin's going to fall and it's going to end the bull market, which would be the biggest disappointment and crypto fizzle of all time. I would be very disappointed. And I would have to figure out a strategy to overcome that over in the long run. But me personally, something tells me that even if Bitcoin falls below its levels, of 70,000, 68,000, 72,000, whatever your level, bear market level is, even if it falls below that level, I still think we are in for another leg up to the upside. I still think there's a lot of gas left. And even if it breaks your imaginary levels that you technical analysis people like to play with, I don't think the game's over at all. I think that this game is just beginning.